Joseph Garcia.
Oh my goodness. Thank you very much. Let me turn this down. Can you guys hear me okay? Perfect. All right. So I'm honored to be here among a few Schnauzer owners. Holy cow, I didn't think there were these many Schnauzer owners in the United States. And today, the demonstration I'm going to give to you, or give with you, share with you, is going to be interactive, okay? You tell me what you want to see. I don't know, we'll try it. We'll see if you can do it, right? But I'm going to let you in a little bit of a background of what we do, why we do what we do, and kind of the history. First of all, how many of you guys have ever heard of the Giant Schnauzers involved in law enforcement, period? Narcotics, bomb detection, they're great dogs, right? And more, how many of you guys have heard of them in special operations? Okay? I don't know any that are in special operations currently right now, other than outside of our unit. So I'm gonna kind of give you a little history, okay, of what these Giant Schnauzers do, why we call these the high-performance Giant Schnauzers, particularly that guy right there. His name is Ami, or known as Amitz, okay? A-M-I-T-Z. He is our current alpha dog. He's got over 18 interdiction, or you guys would call them bites, right? We specialize in responding to high-risk correctional emergencies or mitigation operations, hostage situations, major riots in over 3,000 jails in the United States, international to include Israel, Europe, as far east as Singapore, Saipan, Guam. And our dogs, our units, they deploy us to either stand teams up, train teams, or to respond to real-world operations. I'm not sure if anybody, if you follow us on, how many of you guys follow us on social media? Okay, only a few of you. If you don't, good, you're not missing too much, okay? The Giant Schnauzers are a very unique breed, right? I think they're unique, and there's a lot of questions that we get. And one of the questions is, why did you guys choose the Giant Schnauzers for law enforcement special operations, right? That's a big question, because everybody always knows, name me a dog, a police dog by breed that you know right now. What's the number one dog that comes to your mind? Shepherd. Mally Shepherds, right? How many of you guys hear the word Schnauzer? Rare. Unless it's in your area and you have a good handler that's willing to take that. So back in 2009, we had a major incident that we were involved in. And over 1,000 inmates were rioting. There was several hundred of us, and then they called in our team. When our team goes in, the biggest our team is we're going to probably respond with about between 12 and 18 individuals, or team members. And we could be involved in an inmate riot with almost 400 inmates to 12 of us or 18 of us. Okay? But we go in highly equipped with a lot of specialized munitions. And the way our unit works is we go one operator, one K-9. So 12 of us, guess how many buddies we have? Yeah. 12 black dogs, Giant Schnauzers. That's all we use, exclusively Giant Schnauzers. Do you know why we use Giant Schnauzers? Take a guess. Yes, sir. Bite force. Okay, anybody else? Intelligence. What else? Intimidating looking, right? So, here's why we use them primarily, okay? I'm gonna give you some facts about it. And if anybody hears something that comes out of my mouth, feel free to say, I'll call you out. See? You see what I'm talking about? And that's the number one thing. The intelligence levels of the Giant Schnauzers. We love their smartness. I'm not saying if there's any Malleys in here, any Shepherd people in here, they're great dogs. They're the Swiss Army knife of law enforcement and the military. You know why? They're small pocket. Hey, no discrimination here on Malleys or Shepherds, okay? So they're the Swiss Army knife. They're a great dog, and you can do a lot with them. How many of you guys have seen the Malleys or the Sheps, out of curiosity? What's the one trait everybody in here, if you think of a Malley, What's the first adjective you think about or verb you think about when you see these dogs? They're what? Did you say neurotic? Did you say like really aggressive? Did you say like they're high energy? Yes or no?
Yes.
Right? Yeah, they are. Because that's why they're great dogs. So on the Giant Schnauzers, intelligence is 1. Number 2 is adaptability for environment. In other words, because we work inside of a prison, right? We can go to one housing unit and there's a stabbing that's just taken place, and an officer might be on the ground, and we take this dog and we'll go into that that environment, and then in another housing unit we'll respond to a housing unit, there's a melee going on, inmates stabbing each other, okay? And then we have to go and transport another inmate, and it goes bang, 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 depending on where we're at. And I need a dog that can do a high level of temperament. So, temperament's another one. Somebody said bite force. Pardon me. It's not COVID or anything, it's just allergies right now, so please don't start freaking out on me, okay? I don't know if I have to maintain a minimum distance here. I maintain a minimum schnauzer distance. I'm on top of you.
Yeah.
So, for us, with our canines, bite force. Bite force is when you see a Mally or a Shep. Any veterinarians in here? Come on, there's gotta be one. No docs? Any vet techs? Vet techs, raise your hands. Come on, 1, 2. Okay, so if you look at a Mally or Shep, what does their bite normally look like? A V shape, right? Open your dog's mouth on a Giant Schnauzer. What do you see? More of a C-clamp. Okay, it's more of a C-clamp. The bite pressure on a Giant Schnauzer comes to the back. That's why we want them to press down and get a good deep bite. So, how many PSI do you think your Mallies and your Sheps hit? Anybody want to take a guess? 235, right? So some people have said, hey, you talk about 370, 400 PSI. How do you know that? Because now I'm gonna give you a little history lesson of what happens with our unit of Giant Schnauzers. Do you realize that the dog you have is part of a line that is really setting the precedence? These guys are setting a precedence, and we're changing history. We're changing the way we train dogs. How many of you guys have heard him bark so far today? Not one time. 98% bark free. 99% bark free. And you're gonna see why underneath the high level of stress. Because in a prison environment, you see all these dogs that are barking today? Did anybody go to that meet and greet at the restaurant yesterday? Oh man, I wish I could have gone in there. But I walked in there and my teeth were like, I was like, all the dogs are having a conversation, adults are having a conversation, and it's like bouncing all over the wall. Now imagine amplifying that inside of a prison. How does an inmate hear you? Can't give orders. My dog gets neurotic and he starts going off. So that's why we tell our dog. And I came up with this thing. In silence, there is power. Because my dog doesn't have to bark to let you know he's gonna bite you.
Yeah.
My dog doesn't have to bark to let you know how smart he is. I just need to be quiet. So I want our dogs to do what? Be seen and not heard. Think about it. Why does my dog need to bark? He'll bark when I tell him to bark. Full sit. Full Okay. All right, so some left, some left. So people ask, they say, well, Garcia, how do you know it's 400 PSI? How do you know it's 375 PSI? Remember what I told you about your Giant Schnauzer you have? So 10 years ago, or in 2000 maybe 7, 8. Some left.
Kill it.
Okay, settle down. Settle. There we go. All right. So
Who's that drone over there?
that's a drone.
Kill it.
So somewhere around 2007, NASA helped us out. What? Yeah, and I mean it directly. I was working with a team and a major university. You ready? Georgia Tech. Yeah, Georgia Tech. Well, Georgia Tech has an amazing technology and engineering department. Amazing, right? So guess what they did? A lot of the patents that they designed or they helped work went towards the space shuttle. My brother is a PhD in electrical engineering, and he ran the electronics branch for the space shuttle. So if you look at this at the space shuttle, you know that black nose tip? On the end of that nose tip is a space shuttle's guidance system. My brother led the team that helped design the guidance system for the space shuttle. And he's got a PhD, and I barely graduated high school. Okay, he's an amazing guy. Well, in 2007, 2008, a patent expired. And what happens is when the astronauts take off, there's sensors in their seats that control how many G's that body's being pushed into that seat. Well, guess what happened? When that patent expired, they were figuring out how can we take this technology now and use it for other applications outside of NASA. So somebody called me and said, "Hey man, we're doing this thing, and can you guys use this in special operations?" And so I was starting to get into the K-9 side. And I said, interesting, let me see what happens. Well, this little pressure pad, when you push down, it can tell how hard an officer's being hit, or if you put it in his vest, how hard that bullet came and hit him. I said, yeah, but what if we did this? So this guy who barely has a high school education, put it in a pad. And so on these pads that you see with us, the sleeve comes off. We use a very specialized leather, and we put a system underneath. And we have an app on our phone. And from the time that we get a puppy, when the puppy hits it, he might hit 30 PSI. And every week, we test our dogs. And it goes up to 500 PSI. No, we haven't had a dog ever do that. But that's what helps us develop our dog's bite. We are the only team, the Schnauzers, are the only team in the world that started doing this. And when they came and they saw what we were doing with our dogs, how many teams do you think came from throughout the world to start studying with us and working with us? And we teach them how to take a dog and work their fundamental bite. Understand? So that's why when we tell people this dog is hitting at 375 PSI, right now, I can prove it because we have the app where you can track everything on our dog. How many of you guys ever thought that technology existed? And the Schnauzers were the first to do it. Yeah? Okay. How else do you think we applied it? In our bite suits. So in our bite suits, this is a high performance, what they call hidden bite suit. And in this bite suit, it's super thin. It's made of special Kevlar, but we have pad systems throughout certain points. Our dogs primarily only bite to the lower extremities. They're gonna bite to the back of the knees, they're gonna bite to the Achilles, or they're gonna bite on the inner thigh. And we do that for one reason. So if I ask this officer right here, okay? Don't worry. You're gonna take your finger just like this, right? And you're gonna point it right at me, okay? 1, 2, 3, point at me. Go ahead, your finger. Did you check it, make sure it's safe? Excellent. Say, point that finger at me. Go ahead, point your finger. Okay, so he's pointing his finger at me, so that's a gun. Where is he pointing to? My chest. So whenever you see dogs biting, where are they always biting to? The arms. So in 2012, we almost lost a dog. One of our dogs almost got hit. He actually got grazed in the back. His name is Max, by a bullet, a slug. And in 2012, I said that accident will never happen again. Something. or red. Okay? Okay. Okay. All right. So in 2012, some left, some left, some left. So in 2012, I was the first guy to start putting lights on a Giant Schnauzer. Do you know how many law enforcement and K-9 people laughed at me? I was laughed at places and conferences. What an idiot, right? Then I explained that it allows us to track our dogs so that when they're going down range, okay, we don't shoot our own dogs. Today, how many K-9s do you see wearing lights? The Schnauzers in law enforcement are what? The first ones to start wearing lights, right? Because sometimes you gotta be willing to break the mold. You gotta be willing to go forward. And coming into this industry, in special operations with a Giant Schnauzer, you know what the number one complaint was? Too big. They don't train in the time set that the Malleys and Sheps do. How many of you guys would say here that the Schnauzer is kind of mature, just a little bit slow? Do they mature a little bit slow, or do they just develop at a different speed? Exactly, thank you, young man. Okay, they develop at a different speed, okay? And so training a Schnauzer for us is so much different. So let's clarify one thing. Joseph Garcia, or known as Senior, right? I'm not a trainer. I'm not a master kennel master. I'm not a super duper mentor teacher of the teachers. I'm just an operator. I'm a handler. I'm the first corrections guy in the United States who runs a tier 1 team, which means 24 hours a day, this rig right here and other rigs like this, armored. It's got the Hendrix system in it. Over 670 horses, guys, in case you're wondering. Special airbag systems, run flat tires. It's armored from the front up. It's a 13,000 BTU AC on the back end of that. I've got a communication system that's encrypted, and then we have drawers and stuff like that that are stacked with some incredible things. And it was primarily designed around our dog. Let me show you why. Because in this kennel here, I hold 2 K-9s. The first dog comes in, goes all the way to the back, and the door closes behind him, and then a second dog comes in. And that way we can transport 2 dogs at any given time inside this truck. We always carry 2 operators, 2 K-9s, and all our equipment to respond to anything up to a hostage situation or rapid response. That was designed by Schnauzer Man for a Schnauzer. And now a number of agencies throughout the world are starting to do what? Mimic that. And it was the Schnauzers, right, that we designed it for. You guys should be proud, right? So, today, this is us talking. Schnauzer people to Schnauzer people. I'm an operator handler, which means I lead my team in as a team leader. That's why they call me Senior, okay? But I'm the only team leader in the United States right now that actually goes in with a K-9. I lead with a K-9. When I'm not working, because my dog is my partner, he stays to my side. He'll go my left, my right, the center, what have you. So today, let's talk to each other, right? Give me a question. Ask me something about my dog or that you're interested in. Question, come on, I got it.
Does he live with you?
Home life.
One at a time.
What's the home life like?
What's the home life like? I don't know. Honey, what's the home life like? Pretty good, right? What do we mean by that? That means that the way we work our dogs right now, you have to understand. How many of you guys have ever been inside a prison, a maximum security prison, or prison or jail? Okay, a number of you. If you work in it, you're a corrections officer, thank you very much. Law enforcement, thank you very much for serving this country through law enforcement or corrections. But a corrections environment is a very volatile environment. It's one of the most violent environments, in the world, here in the U.S. prison system. Do you know how many officers are attacked every night, the time frame for corrections officers? How many corrections officers are attacked? 90 seconds. Every 90 seconds, a corrections officer is stabbed, killed, injured, and or killed in the United States. Every 90 seconds. Do you know how many inmates there are in the United States? 2.4 million. Do you know how many correctional facilities there are in the United States? Over 3,000. What do those numbers tell you when you talk about corrections officers under 500,000 corrections officers? They're outnumbered. And with today's day and age, the way things are going right now, it's getting even worse. Okay? Why am I in that environment? Well, it's an environment that the Lord brought me to. And so, their home life for our dogs, they're going in and out of prisons all the time. We like to rotate what we call, when a dog goes active, the dog might go active for 2 weeks straight. I've been on the road as much as 8, 12 weeks at a time, straight. And then I come back for what we call a quick turn. So I'll have bags ready, then I'm off to the next country, or I'm off to the next state, or I'm off to the next deployment, right? And so our dogs, what we like to do is 2 weeks on or 3 weeks on, and then a week off. I'll bring in another dog in. So we only exclusively use Giant Schnauzers. We love their temperament, and I'm gonna demonstrate what I mean by temperament. And when I say temperament, what I'm gonna show you is something that's been highly classified, and we have not shown it. And I challenge any of you, anybody here, to tell me that what we're doing to our dog is cruel. And I have a question for you guys. How many of you guys have played sports here before? Football, baseball, soccer, played sports, okay? Contact sports, right? How many of you guys have done any solo sports? Ice skating, what are some other sports? Wrestling, any of those solo sports. Karate, okay? Self-defense. How hard is it? How much time do you have to put into it? A lot, right? So we do the same thing for our dogs when we prepare them for the environment. It is a very difficult environment. Imagine, do me a favor real quick. On the count of 3, everybody yell, Schnauzer Fest. Ready? One, really loud, please, because I'm going to show you something. Really loud. 1, 2, 3. When I say 3, Schnauzer Fest. 1, 2, 3, Schnauzer Fest! Exactly. Now listen to yourselves, right? Imagine all of you yelling at the same time, and all of you are in a housing unit, and that dog comes in. I don't need that dog to come in and be afraid. I need him to be mentally strong, and that's why we like the Schnauzers. You ever notice a stubborn Schnauzer?
No.
Everybody experienced one of those? What did I just tell you? 10 seconds ago. They're very stubborn, right? It's because they're strong in the mind. How many times you ever spank a Schnauzer? I just told you, don't. Come on. We know what happens when that door closes, and those Schnauzers get underneath your skin sometimes. It's like, you go to your bed, go to your room, go to your crate. These guys, they know it too. So I hope I answered your question about their home life. They eat well. We do a 50-50, kibble and raw. We do the kibble for stability, and we do the raw whenever we can, except when we travel. When we travel, we really watch where we go to for their meats. Very important, okay? Next question. Yes, ma'am. I am a handler. Oh my gosh, the training. Okay, here we go. You ready? Training. Da-da-da-da-da. I'm his what?
Master.
I'm his buddy. He's my partner. So what happens is our dogs, when they come to us at 8 weeks old. That lady right there goes to Europe to an exclusive place that I can't disclose where they go to, and she'll help with the testing, and then the dogs come here, and then they go to the Risinator farms. So the dog comes for us for 8 weeks, and they go to what we call in-doc. Ears, tail, right? And then they stay there for 4 weeks, like 4 weeks, and then we ship them off to a location. We use like 9 different locations throughout the United States. He goes through narcotics, EOD. He goes through air assault operations, helicopters, learn how to rappel down. Helicopters will be inserted. So if you watch some of our videos, you see our dogs, they come off and that helicopter's still moving and the dogs come off. Okay, it's not easy to do, trust me. All those rotary blades on 200, 150 mile an hour winds coming straight down. It's not easy for a dog. They go to low light school where they spend 6 weeks in nothing but darkness constantly. Their training begins at nighttime and it ends right before the sun comes up. They do a lot of training where the buildings are shut down, and that's where they do all their training. And everything was very low light for them. We send them to cadaver school. Cadaver school. Why do you send a dog to cadaver school, Garcia? Because I need him to learn one thing and one thing only. You know what that is with cadaver dogs? What makes cadaver dogs cadaver dogs? They're very gentle when they find it, and if they have to pull down the sleeve or they pull out the pants, okay? So that's what we need that dog to do. So when I have an inmate and he's up, okay, hands against the wall, my dog will go up. If in case I suspect that the inmate has a weapon, my dog will go up and pull his pants down around so I can see his waist. The guy will turn around, dog comes down, dog just pulls it down at the waist. Very gentle. We send our dog to sheep herding school. Yes. He goes 3 weeks to sheep herding school. Do you know why? Because in the event that we arrive on scene and I'm dealing with a dog, my dog is going to make sure I'm protected. So he keeps all the inmates away from me while we provide first aid. So that equipment that we have there, we're utilizing it so we can save the officer's life or the inmate's life. And my dog is protecting me and all of my assets. So I'll do you a little demonstration, right? Where I'll say protect, and he'll protect something, he'll move around. It's almost like a ring sports school, but we need to send him to sheep herding school. And then they go into tracking, and then they do a couple of other things that we can't disclose here. But he works on hostage rescue, so you're gonna see that he works on this little bad boy. He's very special, and this is what we're known for. So when I mark up an area, in a riot, my dog needs to know where to go to. How does he know where to go to? I give him a general direction, and then I target. That's exactly where he needs to go to. And that's how we move our dogs when we deploy our dogs. The Schnauzers were the first to do it. I came up and worked with a very specialized team when I found out they were using lasers to guide their EOD dogs. I said, hey, that makes a lot of sense. Imagine using it in a riot. He said, I wish I could help you. I just told you that we use lasers, but if that was me, I would kind of start training him this way. So in 2011, I was like, I'll try that. And guess what? We became the masters of it. We were the first to deploy these dogs with lights to give them a general direction and lasers. So my dog knows where to go to, where I need to send him to, and we'll give you a little demonstration of that, just so you know. When our dog sees that laser, there's nothing that you can do to distract him. He knows exactly what's at the end of that, and he's gonna punch it. Does that make sense? Wow. So when the inmate sees it, right, or the inmates see it, they never see this, because the dog's down here, okay? Are you guys learning something right now? Now, for personal protection detail, all right, on some of our dogs, and I'll talk a little bit about that, but we train some of the owners how to use their lasers if we need the dog to search certain areas. If we hear a noise, our clients will stand under the porch, take the laser out, put the light, and then direct the dog to go to check out that tree or check out by that car, and the dog's gonna go. You'd be surprised what the Schnauzers have done, the groundbreaking things that our Schnauzers have done. Are you guys learning something today?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody asked me earlier over here, I'm gonna get right over here, why do we cut our ears and our tails? So in 2010, 2011, they have the Schnauzers, you know, our Schnauzers, they don't have a show cut. They have very short crop, and we have a specification. And we do that where when we send our dogs in, okay, we use a very specialized helmet.
Aww.
It's a helmet. It has communications on the inside for the ears. And it protects his nogger. Shatter resistant on the eyes for him, so he has his nose. Inmates have had a tendency of grabbing the ears on the long ones and stabbing the dog in the head with a pencil or pen or what have you. The tail is that there have been a number of shepherds that have gone in and the tails are getting caught in the door and inmates are chopping them off. Or their bunk buddy grabs the tail and breaks the dog's tail off. It's a very violent world that we work in. And so we've learned through experience what happens, okay? And so that's why we cut our dog's ears and his tails for his safety. And then, if you've noticed, I challenge you guys to look for the Schnauzers pre-2010. How many Schnauzers did you see, Giant Schnauzers, with that kind of haircut? Almost everybody you see have the Giant Schnauzer cut, coat, and the hair's long. So we use what we call a 7 reverse on them so that when our dogs have any kind of trauma, we can see the blood immediately. It's for their safety. So after the operation, we run a blue light on our dog very quickly because blue light brings up what? Blood very quickly. And you'd be surprised. It's very violent. Inmates use a number of different things. Question, ma'am. You had a question over there, sir. Yes, sir. Beautiful dog, by the way. It's a Schnauzer? I would have never guessed. Oh, how long will they stay? Yeah, so what happens is they stay with us until they're 5 years old and then we put them asleep. You know, they go to sleep, they're like, what did you guys think I was talking about? I'm kidding, man, relax. Our longest dog we had serving with us was 9 years old operationally. We used the 80% rule. 80% of their life, meaning that once they start slowing down, we see they're starting to slow down, we pull them offline. And then we use them as an alpha dog and train the other dogs. But their life from that point on is amazing. Spoiled. All these guys have their specialized Tempur-Pedic beds. Their kennel doors on their crates are always left open. We very rarely ever close those doors because it's our safe place for them. Any other questions? Yes, sir. Oh, you scared me. Yep. Yep, so what happens is, if I'm with my partner, I go down. I've been life flighted 3 times in my career. Okay, let me back up. I've been life flighted once. One was set, then it was canceled halfway through. And then the other one, I was blown by ALS. I was shot one time in the head, it ricocheted off my helmet. The other time, I was stabbed, 27 stitches, left and right. And then once I had a major falling off a second tier that they flew me out. So we are in high risk environment. If I go down, if something happens to me, my dog knows to come to my aid immediately, meaning that he carries a first aid kit on him. So if I'm conscious, I can reach up and get a what we call something to stop the bleed for us, okay, a tourniquet if I need to. Other than that, he'll go to alert system, which means he starts barking, and he basically stays on top of me. My partner comes and gives him a code word, and that releases my dog, so my dog can go with somebody else. Does that make sense? Wow. Okay, any question? Yes, ma'am. What language do my dog speak? Venga. Some left. Some left.
Good girl.
What language would you like to speak there? Venga. Venga aquí ahora. Spanish. Platz. German. So our dogs know 5 languages. German, Czech, Spanish, French, and Hebrew. Do you know why? Because we're partnered up with what? 2 or 3 other operators. If we're all yelling German, or we're all yelling Czech, what do you think that dog's gonna do? Screw me, right? That's exactly what happens. So I calibrate my dog, and I usually like to speak Hebrew or Spanish with him, okay? And the others will speak German or Czech because they're lazy and they don't want to use any language. I'm cool with that too. Okay? Questions? Top rows. Yes, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. Remember when I told you about temperament? How are they with children, right? I can tell you, but I'd rather show you.
Okay, Kelly, here we go.
Would you like to see how they're good with children? How about with you?
Sure.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. You ready? Could you please grab me 4 bottles of water? Four bottles of water? I'm pretty thirsty. 4 bottles. Platt. Platt. Bleib. You got your phones ready? Get your phones ready. Okay, you got your phones ready? And what I'd like, if it's possible, I know you don't know me well, but I'd like maybe 5 volunteers. If maybe you're a trainer, come on down. If you're a trainer, yes ma'am. Okay, it's fine. But just 5 volunteers, 6 volunteers, I'm fine. Now, yes, come on down. Yep. Wanna come on? Come on. Where's your mom? Where's your mom at? Mom? Okay. You wanna come down here with them? Mom? Dad? Like, okay. Awesome, stay right here. What's your name, buddy? What's your name? What's it? Russell? Nice to meet you, Russell. You like this dog? What's your name? What's that? Hi, Alex. Nice to meet you. And you are? George. Dracula. George the Jungle. Nice to meet you, George. Nice to meet you. And who are you? Will? What's up, Will? Nirvana. You ever hear of Nirvana? Nirvana? Kurt Cobain? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I was kidding. Okay. So, here's what we got. I'm going to have all you guys stand over here. Right over here. Stay right there. Right there. Yep, stand over here. Yeah, sure. Why not? 4. I gotta borrow you for a second. Just for a second. This is not gonna hurt, I promise. Too bad. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're over there and you kind of want to see this, I'm gonna have these guys kind of get together a little closer. Now, what I'm about to do is going to be very, very intense for a lot of you. But I can promise you this. Some love. Some love. There you go. Thank you. This is going to be very intense. And the reason why this is going to be intense is because I need you to see the temperament of this dog and why we use these dogs. But I'm going to do a modified red line. I'm not going to get super high with it, but I'm going to get him to a red line, okay? And if you hear him bark one time, that's okay. Because all dogs and all human beings have a limitation. But I'm going to push every button I can right now, within reason for him. I'm going to get him very amped up, and then you're going to see me bring him back down very quickly, and then I'm going to have people just pet him. We'll get on his belly, you can pet him. And then boom, back up very quickly. I'll redline him. Okay, so the way I use water, the way I use different things is to get him and try to push different buttons. Oh no, if he's gonna go offline or not, okay? So I have a question for you now, right now, as a general public. Why do you think we do this?
Practice.
What's that?
Practice.
Why do you think we run this exercise? Anybody? Control? We have officers who work inside of environments. We have, I'm going to show you something right now real quick. Okay, so I'm going to have you guys come around here real quick. Come on. You guys, blind plot. Come on around me. Yep. But, like, so we're gonna walk around him just for a second. Like, excuse me, man. You can step over him. You can pat him on the head. Hey, nice doggy. Okay, what's that? Oh, it says do not pet. Don't worry. There you go. How's that? Now the do not pets off. Okay, so seat. Like, so let's go walk around him. Hey, how you doing, man? No. Come here. Say hi. Say hi. Hello. Don't put your face in his face. Just pet him. I mean, here. Say hi. So how was that? Yeah? Okay, now have you guys stand to the side. Have you guys stand right over there. Okay, buddy. But. So, but. Come here. Push. I mean, 9. He knows what's going on. But. 9. 9. 9. But. No. But. Nope. Nope. Yep. 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 Thank you. There we go. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Thank you, buddy. Good. Thank you, buddy. There we go. Good. Come here. Come on. Say hi. Hey, come on, say hi to him. Hi, buddy. Hello. Sit. Like. Don't stand in front of him, but just kind of move. Just like move. You know what I mean? Plop. Like this. Like moving back and forth. Like this. Walking over. Hey, how you doing? Yeah. Okay. Start walking backwards. Start walking backwards. Go on. Okay, everyone freeze. Yes! Ami? Control. Okay, so we can pick it up even more if we have to, but it's just showing you a level of control. You notice when he didn't see the laser, he didn't know where to do what? He didn't know where to go bite. It wasn't until I identified it, light, I hold him, so that when he saw the light and laser, he didn't automatically bite it. Because he needs to know, just because you see it, I don't want you necessarily to do what. So Jasper, the equipment fixation, yeah, Jasper, where you at? Oh, sorry. The equipment fixation. So you get him, he thinks he's gonna do it, then I walk away from him. Okay? So that's one of the techniques that you might want to start implementing. Get dressed up in a suit, start working your obedience, walk away. So he knows, okay, it's a good deal. And then he gets what he was expecting. Does that make sense? Okay. What do you think? Pretty good, huh? Can I hear from me? Give him a big hand. Okay. Go.
I don't know. I didn't see it.
Okay,
Thank you.
next question. Yes. Yes, the color of red. So when they see red on the dog, everybody inside the environment know not to go near us because we're working. When they see blue, he's basically in officer-friendly mode. You can come up, you can talk to us. So whenever you see any of our dogs, you say, don't pet them on the head because they use their schnoz to detect. So we try to pet them on their back, you know, because it's like somebody coming to you all the time, patting you on the head. Okay? Does that make sense? Good. Questions? Yes, sir. George the jungle, right? Okay. What's your question? Oh, are they good swimmers? He swims at least 2 or 3 times a week. And if you watch our videos, we'll do 20 yards, all the way up to 100 yards, swim out and swim back for us. And it depends on what we do with our dogs. We have a dinghy that we put 1 or 2 people on. He'll grab it, and he'll swim back with it. So that's how we develop their muscles. It's all about development for our dogs. Anybody else? Questions?
I do.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry? Yeah, he will react to a red laser, but that's why from our unit, let me see your red laser. Yeah, just put it at me. There you go. And your red laser is here. Ami? Nope. Okay. Yeah, he'll react to it. Okay. Okay. Was that a trick to try to get him to bite me? Okay. Questions? How fast can my dog run? Depends on how we clock him. So 29 to 31 miles an hour on average for 200 yards. That's his requirement. Yes.
Is there a percentage that don't make it through the program? They fail to.
Yes, we have dogs that will not make it through our program. And what happens is we repurpose them to, they'll go either special operations or they'll go PSK, personal protection K-9. And dogs that don't make it for whatever reason, okay? And that's one thing that you have to understand. Just because you see people selling dogs as protection dogs, they might be great on obedience and great on equipment, okay? But when it comes to real time, real world, they might not react. And that's a big liability. So we We know that in the very beginning somewhere, and we we'll have a dog, we'll adopt them out, okay? But we have a waiting list, and there are certain requirements for those dogs. When you get one of our dogs, obedience, extreme obedience, off lead, they're very, very well. You're getting a $60,000 dog, 4 pennies on the dollar. But we have to have that family have skin in the game as well. We don't just adopt a dog just because you want a dog. That's great. We need to know that you appreciate a partner for life. Does that make sense for you guys? Yes, ma'am.
His shoes.
His shoes, yes. So Michelin has a rubber company, and Michelin helped design shoes 2011 for what we needed a requirement for ice. Because inside, this is sealed concrete. And so when inmates throw shampoo and things on the ground, you have different types of rubber, but we need as much surface when we're talking about slippery, slick surfaces so my dogs can have traction. Now, have you ever seen videos where dogs are on the mall floor or concrete floor and they're doing this? Do you know how many shoulders get tore up? And the handlers think it's cute, but it's not. Okay, so 2011, we've been running specialized rubber for our dogs, non-slip rubber on our dogs. They wear these shoes like we wear shoes every day.
Every day, all the, wow, okay.
All the time. The only time we don't put shoes on them is when we have fun. We go to the football field or wherever we're at. Questions? I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. Oh, you would ask me one of those political questions. Do you only use males? No. We have Esther, if anybody's been following us. We have Esther, who's the first female to come through the Special Operations Program. She is a dog that comes from Spain. And the only reason why we decided to run a female for the first time, and I'll tell you straight out, female and male dogs, certain time of life, seasons, have a way of making the Risinator farms a hell to live. Heck, hell is a Bible, right? So, place of hell. A living heck. Hell. All right? I'm just saying for a friend. So what we did was we have a procedure in place that we run so that we send we send her away to do her training off-site for 4 weeks or 5 weeks, and then she'll come back to the boys. But it still drives the boys crazy. So we're running Esther for the first time, and the only reason why we selected her was from our testing for our dogs. She blew all the scales away from most dogs that we've seen in years.
Wow.
And she's an amazing dog. Right now, she's top of her class in bite. And one of the tests that we run with our dogs, how many of you guys have ever heard a shotgun go off? A number of you. Or you've heard a handgun go off. Imagine in this environment, if I fired a shotgun. That's gonna be very loud. At 8 weeks old, they come to us and we fire a shotgun right above their head. And if they run and scatter, okay, we can't use them. We need to know that they're very strong, so we have certain techniques and tests that we run that underneath very controlled environments. And so the dogs go through a process, environmentals. In other words, when our dogs are first born, 2 weeks into it, there's music that they hear, chaotic music, okay, during the daytime, and then they're eating their food, and then we have certain tests that we run in Europe for them. At nighttime, all they hear is classical music. During daytime, we hear nothing but crash, metal, everything like that, and we help develop their environmentals. And then we start weeding the dogs out at that point for which ones last. And the dogs that don't last in that environment, we take them away, and they go to civilian roles, and they go to a nice relaxing environment for kennels. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, our dogs are all intact. We keep them intact, and I know there's different things about, they say causes cancer when they get too old, it makes them aggressive. So can I say something? Because again, I'm not a trainer, right? I'm just an operator handler. I'm a handler. So how many men do we have in this room? Out of curiosity, raise your hand if you're a man. This is not a trick question. Can you tell me at what age that part of the anatomy falls off?
What?
Besides getting married? I'm kidding. I'm so kidding. I'm kidding. I'm just a firm believer that we've never had to do that to our dog, never. And it's all about the control. It's all about how they're grazed. And I get some people say, hey, you should cut it off at 2 years old or 3 years old. Okay, if you have to, fine. They're too aggressive. I don't believe that. We run very aggressive dogs. Do you think this dog is aggressive? He's aggressive when I turn that switch on. All these schnauzers here have switches. They all have switches, right? You ring a doorbell, what happens to that dog?
Oh, shoot.
Okay, exactly, right? So they all have switches, but do you know how to control it?
No.
All of you have switches. Tempers, we all have tempers. But have we learned how to control it? Of course. So on our unit, in our training process that we designed for them, we designed it so that we control that aggression. Controlled aggression. And we have a lot of playtime with them. Lots of playtime. Questions?
Do they ever go to your house?
All the time. Lives with me.
does? Okay.
4 Schnauzers live with me on the unit. All our dogs live with all the handlers. They're an integrated part of the family. When they retire from us, you know what they go into? They get classified underneath personal security K-9s at that point. This is the best security K-9 you can ever imagine. If you guys ever get the opportunity to adopt one of our dogs, you are walking into a gold mine. Enjoy that dog for the rest of your life because he's going to protect you with everything they have. They've got the average training for these dogs are almost 3 years long. 3 years. At an average cost of $10,000 to $12,000 a month. $10,000 to $12,000 a month just for training. They see a vet every 6 weeks. They see a vet every 6 weeks. They get everything from chiropractor, adjustments, to nutrition. We got a nutrition coach. They get blood work done. Anytime our dog leaves one training site, we're automatically seeing a vet. We're automatically checking all the blood work. We cannot afford for any of our dogs to do what? Go down on the pipeline.
Nope.
Go down, period. Okay? So that's why I tell people, whenever we walk our dogs, you see us, we don't pull off on rest areas because a lot of people don't know how to keep a dog quarantined if a dog is sick, whooping cough, or has some kind of issue. So that's why we stay away from a lot. We do not allow our dogs to go to dog parks. We find an open field where a dog hasn't gone, and then we kind of have that time with that dog there. It's all about safety and security for us. Wow. Questions? Any other questions? Have you guys learned something today?
Wow.
Okay? So you got a chance to see our opening warm-up show with the dogs. I can show you so many things right now that we're doing with our canines, but the truth is, here's where it comes down at the end of the day. Our dogs operationally do one thing, they save a lot of lives. We do not use dogs to abuse people or inmates, period, end of story. Our dogs are part of our unit as we have as professionals, period, end of story. I don't need a pit bull. I don't need to walk down the street and my dog looks like he's gonna intimidate. He walks down the street, okay, I'm sorry he looks intimidating, but he's really a pretty cool dog if you had a chance to meet him yesterday when he's walking down, okay? So, your Schnauzers, you know who the best dog is in this room right here? Guess who the best dog is? Who has the best dog in this room? Come on. You do. Your dog. Your dog serves your purpose. Your Schnauzer serves your purpose for your household. That's the best dog in this house. My boy does what he does. He protects my lovely wife and I. He does his job with the unit. Our Schnauzers, he's the best dog for me. So don't ever have anybody put you down or tell you, hey, this breed is better than that breed. No, this breed is meant for my personality and my family. Understand? Does that make sense? Any other questions? Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry? My social media? Yep. So on Instagram, it's STL Garcia. STL Garcia Kilo 1. As soon as you put STL Garcia, it should pop up almost immediately. And then on Facebook, it's STL Joseph Garcia. And you'll see me there. Question? Yes. I'm sorry? Can they do tricks? Other than making food disappear off the table? That's about it. Yes.
Joseph Garcia.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys know this or not. The Reisnader Farms that my wife owns is an exclusive Giant Schnauzer trainer. All they train is Giant Schnauzers in the United States. They serve clients from all over the world with certain specifications. So whatever the specification is. They want coffee. I want some tea. When you're picking a trainer, may I just make a couple suggestions? Try to minimize social media for your source, because there's a lot of people that do a lot of, hey, we're gonna do that 20 times before we take this first take. Anybody who knows me, how many times did I have to rehearse with my dog to do anything? Not one time. How many retakes did I take? Not one time. POD. Papa Oscar Delta, POD, performance on demand. So when you find a trainer, he's got to be able to let you do not call yourself a trainer, take one of our dogs, and not expect that lady right there to march up in her Jeep at 7 o'clock in the morning when you're supposed to be training a dog, and she'll drive to Montana or Texas or wherever and show up unannounced. If you got a trainer, your number one rule is, I can see my dog at any time without notice. Period. Number two, I can pull my dog at any time and get him tested real quick for worms. If that dog has worms, you'll know right then and there. Get that dog checked for worms. That tells you what about the kennel. Lazy, nasty, and then number three, check elbows all the time. Your dog gets neurotic, guess what they're doing? Most trainers spend about maybe an hour on a dog, and they're charging you lots of money. Very few trainers actually work your dogs. These dogs, the requirement for them, I want 5 sessions a day, minimum. 5 sessions a day, and you're gonna record it. And that's what we're able to do. So you tell your trainer, hey, do me a favor, I want you to record all these sessions. Well, I don't want to give my techniques away. Yeah, whatever. It's accountability. If you're paying $1,000, $5,000 a month, you should expect to see what? I want results. I want to see you working my dog. Does that make sense? Questions? Yes, ma'am. His good looks. He's a hero. I'm sorry? He's big. He commands. I don't know. He's a horse for me. But that's just one of those things. He's a Schnauzer thing. Yeah. Questions? Okay. Anything over here?
What are the lights on his vest?
He told you today.
Never mind.
Green, blue, and red.
I'm sorry.
Never mind. You already talked about it. The lights.
The lights, yeah. It's just these are marking lights, and then we see little strobes. The strobes basically tell you the direction of the dog's head. So if you see the red line, okay, and then you see the little beep, that little blink tells you the direction of his head. We don't sell these to just the general public, but only at our shows we do. So if you're interested in these marking lights, they're the best lights. Put them on top of your dog here, so that when you're walking your dog, people don't step on their feet. People see the visualization. You want people to see your dog, not how cute they are, and they step on them. So if you watch any of my videos, like I went to a mall in Christmas time with a 9-month-old, and I was walking in and out. Usually I'll put lights on the dogs, right? But I want people to see the dog. I want them to know, hey, everyone's looking here, looking up, but they never see down. And a lot of these dogs get hurt. So if you're interested, these are the K1, K9 lights. They're great. Questions? Yes. I'm sorry. Yep. Yeah, so he does tracking. So if there's an inmate that escapes, it depends on where they're at, how they've tracked him. If he's running to this building here, we'll go ahead and send a dog, make the announcement, and the dog will start searching. And the dog, depending on, will react based on, he has cameras. So if you see some of the technology that we have on here, we have cameras that we put on the dog so I can see where he's at. And if the inmate decides to fight, he decides to fight. If the inmate stands there, he's gonna let me know, but usually I have the camera, and if I don't, then I'll give him the command. It's okay to do what we call free, so he can bark if he needs to. Questions?
Wow.
Anybody else? Nothing? Nothing? Yes, I'm sorry.
You mentioned already the helmet, but what protection does he have on the harness?
So we have a ballistic vest and a stab vest for him, so we run multiple different types of vests on the dogs, always. Questions? Yes, ma'am.
Your shoes that Michelin makes, are they made in the U.S. or out of the country, and are they exclusive to your organization?
Yeah. So Michelin worked with us, and then they went to a company called Roughwear. So you can find these on the Roughwear now. I'm showing age now. Let's go. Questions? Questions? Good time? Did you guys learn something today?
Wow, yeah.
Huh? It's the Schnauzer. Doing it. Okay, let me close off by doing this, right? So, we spent a Saturday together. You guys see some cool stuff, but it doesn't matter. If you ever forget me, it doesn't matter. You forget my dogs, you forget K1, K9, Kilo 1. But for me, I've been involved in more operations in 20 years. I've almost lost my life in line of duty 3 times. Every time I go out, my wife will tell you, I always say, I'll see you on the other side, and then we go comms blackout, which means she won't hear from me, and she hopes that the next phone call that's coming in isn't from a chaplain or somebody saying that something's happened, right? But she knows one thing, you know what that is? That if on the other side, whether in this world or the next, she knows that I gave my life to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and we'll see each other again. So I want to tell you this, all of it. It doesn't matter what you see today, what cool things happen, but never forget the words, that unless you know that our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ died for your sins, and that believing in Him, you'll have eternal life. That's what this was all about. If I'm here today just to preach that message, and bring that message. I lost a K-9. It's the hardest, one of the hardest things. I buried my father several weeks ago, and if you watched my tribute, he was a man who invested in my life, who showed me who his Lord and Savior was, and I made my decision in my 20s. And I can tell you this, I'm at total peace, my wife is at total peace, to know that our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, that's eternal life for me. It doesn't matter what happens in this world. So with that, my friends, let me call my wife up here. This is Shauna, come here. My best friend, my wife, she's the one who handles everything. Yep, look at that, flip-flops and all. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the Garcias, and it's been a pleasure to serve you. Thank you so much. It's our honor to have been here for you. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for everything. If you want to take some photos, you can. If you want to get any t-shirts, we're sold out of them now, but we got another big order coming in. You can give us a line and you'll have your t-shirts within a week. I want to thank you for supporting us. Thank you and God bless you guys. Schnauzer Fest 2024. Are we doing a Schnauzer Fest in 2024? Are we doing one in 2024? 23, that's what it said, 23. Are we doing one in 2023? Lord willing? So, on the count of 3, everyone say Schnauzer Fest 2023. Or, yeah, Schnauzer Fest 2023. 1, 2, 3, Schnauzer Fest 2023. God bless you guys.
That was absolutely.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for him again, please.
Yeah.
All right, we are